celebration. When he entered the race, Cast was a fringe candidate, a populist from the far right. Yesterday, he came first.
Imagine that. Wonder what Facebook was doing. Wonder what Twitter was doing.
His victory speech. He launches an attack on
Wonder
his
what
runoff
Putin was
opponent,
doing.
Gabriel Boric, a former student leader. Boric heads a broad left coalition, including the Communist Party. Cast accuses Boric and his communist allies of trying to destabilize Chile. Cast's surprising success marks a big change in the political landscape. 2 years ago, millions of Chileans took to the streets, demanding an end to the conservative economic model imposed by the dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet. This year, the country elected a left-leaning assembly to rewrite the constitution. Analysts say many Chileans turn to Cast because they're rattled by these changes, which they blame on leftists.
They want to make a new Chile from ashes. They want to burn the existing Chile and make a new one that I don't
Why
like.
is NPR giving
gender,
us the right-wing side of the story?
Deconstruct values and traditions.
Alejandro Lopez is in the crowd celebrating Cast's success. He's 21. Lopez says he's delighted that Chile's far right is now mainstream.
We want a right that defends its main values, even defending the best part of Pinochet. That is like a taboo now.
Thousands of Chileans were murdered by the Pinochet regime that
You guys
ended in
miss a
1990.
dictator.
Cast has a record of praising Pinochet's economic achievements. Also in the crowd is Lucas Ressler, an engineering student. Ressler says he actually wanted to vote for a centre-right candidate, but figured he stood no chance. He opted for Cast because
He gives me tranquility and safety about the security in the streets, economic security, stability, all that kind of thing.
I think that Cast's performance is in part explained by a very far-right dimension of support concerned with law and order, but I also think it's explained by the collapse of the traditional parties.
Professor Jenny Pribble of Richmond University is an expert in Chilean politics.
Have you paid any attention to what
Cast got
Facebook and Twitter are
28%
doing to
of
promote
yesterday's vote,
far-right
and
candidates in
Boric
every
26.
single country? Because they're
That's
the ones
way short
behind it
of
at
50%
Putin's
plus
request,
needed to win
at
outright.
Putin's direction.
Both are in a battle to
You get what you get. Bolsonaro killed the second most people in the world with Trump virus. Trump killed the most.
That Cast has a
Both
slightly
Putin
easier
puppets.
path
Modi's
to
third
victory
place.
than Boric.
Also a
I
Putin
think what
puppet.
he will have to do is try to convince those voters that he respects the rules of democracy.
And why
that
is
he's not gonna
BBC talking like
undermine
they
the
already
rules
won?
of democracy.
Much is at stake. Chile is deeply polarized. Many Chileans resent being asked to make a choice between the hard right and the left.
But are you giving us any perspective from the
I'm worried,
leftists?
says Ligia Herrera.
From half
She
the
lined up
country?
to vote in Santiago yesterday. She's a nurse. Herrera dislikes the left, yet fears a Cast presidency would erode women's rights and cut taxes.
Wow,
on the
so we're
rich.
going to hear from the
Chile
Nazis and the
doesn't need that
centrists.
right now, she says. It needs social justice. Philip Reeves, NPR News.
Didn't hear a
Santiago.
single word from the leftists. What is that all about, NPR?